So I have a normal 9 to 5 job where I'm sitting 8 hours a day, plus if I'm editing videos for my YouTube channel, that number's even higher. Now Herman Miller is considered by many to be the gold standard when it comes to ergonomic offerings, and because of this they're able to charge over $1,900 for their popular Embody gaming chair, which doesn't even include the headrest. However, the fact of the matter is that people love this $2,000 chair and people buy this $2,000 chair. But thankfully, we're now seeing a huge influx in companies that are trying to bridge the gap by offering similar or altogether new features without having to pay the huge markup because of a brand name. Today, I'll be going over a completely new option from a company called LiberNova that will 100% blow your mind. So without further ado, let's get started. As I'm getting everything unboxed, I'll mention that over the past few years, I've had the honor of testing out dozens of different chairs from different brands, and when you spend so much of your day sitting, whether that's working or gaming, you begin to really appreciate when you find something that provides all-day comfort. And Herman Miller is a perfect example of people willing to spend a premium in search of this. Now, I'm really big into aesthetics, and the first thing I noticed about the LiberNovo Omni is that they go all in for the color scheme. Many times, for example, you'll buy a white chair, but some of the parts will be chrome. But for this gray option and for their black variant, pretty much every possible piece is the same matching color. To get this assembled, they include a huge cardboard piece of the step-by-step instructions. First step is getting the wheels attached to the base. Next, you're going to drop the gas lift in place at the center of the base. From here, take what I would call the main part of the frame and slide it on top of the lift. On this main piece, there's a part that can move up and down that needs to be connected to the frame further down. To get the seat connected, there's two metal posts that pivot into the slots underneath. Then you'll use two screws, one on either side, towards the back to lock in place. Next, connect the USB-C cable from the main base to the back of the seat. In the front, underneath, there's one more piece you need to screw in. This is what connects the arms to the reclining motion, which is one of the coolest features of the chair that I'll cover during testing. Moving on, you can cut off the zip tie that's keeping the lever system in place, and then use the outer cap to twist to lock in place. On the same side, you can insert the tension adjuster into the small opening, and this too will lock in place with a twist. It's now time to put on the backrest. First, slide out the clip like I'm doing here and set it aside. Then you can position the two metal rods in the backrest into their corresponding slots. Once everything's in, you can reattach the top piece to secure. Next, you have the headrest, and this is one solid piece that can be slid right into the top opening. And finally, you have a rechargeable USB-C battery pack that gets plugged into the slot underneath the seat on the left side. They also have a matching footrest, and I won't spend too much time going over how to assemble this as it's pretty easy and can be done in a couple minutes. So for a chair to truly be considered ergonomic, it has to be able to put your body in the optimal position. This right here is an example of not being supported the way it should. My shoulders are way too high, the top pillow is around my upper back instead of around my neck, and my back is lifted away from the pad. So in order to get everything adjusted for healthy support, I'm first going to raise my seat a little bit to lift my hips slightly above my knees. Next, I need to lower and adjust the armrest so that my arms are at a natural relaxed position. If they're too high or too low, it'll cause strain along your shoulders, traps, and neck. Moving on, the neck support has to be moved up and positioned right where there's that slight curvature behind your head. And finally, there's buttons on the left armrest that control the motorized lumbar lift, which is the reason for the battery pack and USB-C cable. Go ahead and adjust this to what feels best for your back. And this is going to be different for everyone because our bodies are all unique. And while we have it at this angle, I wanted to point out how as you're constantly moving throughout the day, the entire back section is able to move with you and it stays glued to your back for constant support. And the reason it's able to do this is because there's 8 flexible panels that are all connected at 14 different points that are all able to pivot as your body adjusts. It's by far the most tech I've ever seen in a backrest, but it works incredibly well. So my biggest worry coming into this was that so few chairs are able to adjust to my 6 feet 4 inch frame. But as you can see, the LiberNova Omni is able to accommodate someone of my size. I also weigh 200 pounds and I don't feel squished, so this definitely is an option for anyone on the larger or taller side like myself. But on the flip side, I had my wife try out the chair and she's 5 feet 5 inches tall and about 120 pounds. I helped get the seat adjusted down for her size, and as you can see, it's able to accommodate her much smaller frame with just a few tweaks. So based off of how this fits my wife, I think someone who's 5 feet 3 inches or taller would be good in this chair, but any shorter than that, and I don't think the headrest would go down far enough for optimal positioning. Another highlight for me was the material and padding. I'm so used to mesh ergonomic chairs, but it might be hard to go back to that. They're using what they call multi-density cushion, which allows for the weight to be evenly distributed to relieve pressure. This same type of material is used on the back as well as the headrest, and overall, it is the most comfortable chair I've ever sat in. Now I want to go over what separates this from any other product I've tested. In the seat, they have everything engineered so that as you recline, everything shifts with you. This means you don't need to make any adjustments since the backrest remains in constant contact and the arm units glide along with you. LiberNova says it's the world's first dynamic ergonomic chair on the market because it's able to automatically adapt to whatever position you're in. And again, it's something I've never seen before in a chair, but it is one of my favorite aspects of their engineering. Next, I'll go over the main adjustments that you can make and the different use cases that I found helpful for each one. You get 4 different reclining positions that range from 105 to 160 degrees. The upright position is at 105, the second option puts you at 120, third is at 135, and the last is at 160 degrees. Then you can adjust the tensioner depending on how easy or hard you want the declining movement to be. Heavier people will adjust up, lighter people will adjust down. As for a little insight on what I found are the best use cases, if I know I need to send a couple emails but I won't be sitting down for more than 15 or 20 minutes, I'm generally keeping my seat in the most upright position like I have here. However, for prolonged periods of work, editing, or gaming, that's when I go back one position, and this is going to be the most comfortable spot when I know I'm going to be locked in for a while. Now I just installed a 120-inch ALR screen and projector from Valerian. I'll leave a link to that project in the description, but what's nice about my room is I can turn my chair around, drop it to the second lowest position, and this is what I prefer when I just want to relax and watch a movie or do some casual gaming. And I don't know if there's anyone else out there like me, but I would take this over a couch any day of the week. But this gaming room is pretty much a space only I use, so it works great just being able to swivel back and forth. As far as the 160-degree tilt, what I've been doing a couple times a day now to reset my back and loosen up my spine is to go in the full recline mode. And once here, you want to press the third button, which is going to move your back up and down. Now to put this in perspective, I'm 200 pounds and the majority of my weight is right on top of this lift, and it had no problem raising my lower back completely off the seat. And again, doing this a couple times a day has done wonders on how I feel after those long 10-hour plus shifts. Now I'll admit this next advantage is ultimately a bad habit, but if you're the type like myself that brings one of their legs up to the seat every once in a while, from previous experience, don't get a mesh type chair because your leg will be resting on plastic. Here, since the padding goes over and around the frame, you'll have the soft cushion under your legs so that it doesn't hurt. But if anyone does sit like this and you have a mesh chair, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So the chair has pretty much all the micro adjustments you could ever want. The neck rest is able to go up and down, closer to your head or further away, as well as pivot on its axis to find that perfect spot. The armrests, of course, can go up and down, rotate left and right. You can actually bend them in towards you, which is great for those of you who have more narrow shoulders. And the pads can also go forward and back. And finally, the chair itself has a healthy range of up-down movement with a total travel distance of 4.5 inches. Now to begin wrapping things up, needless to say, I'm incredibly impressed at what LiberNova was able to come up with. I've tried enough chairs over the years to know when we have a winner, and this one is definitely a winner. So if you're in the market for a premium ergonomic chair, absolutely include the Omni in your comparison between different options. I'll leave you with some final results, but as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day.
In the glove box lasted longer than we thought. Turned out to be a long shot. Time's running out, tick-tock. It's a shocker on the stock chart, rolling dusty like a quick start.